Welcome to the Smart Science video about how to measure for the Pulleys lab. So in this lab, you're going to have masses hanging off a pulley with different setups, and the force is going to be measured by a scale there on the left. So for example, here's a brief description of the lab at the top of the Explore page. And you can see this diagram with a string going from the mass around a single pulley and up into the scale to measure the force. So you're going to see that there are 5 different setups you can use in the lab, and just reading over the guideline, you'll notice that to measure force, you've got to click on this little metal tab on the spring scale. So let's go down and try that right now. The first thing you're going to do is consider this question: how does number of pulleys affect the force needed to lift a mass? To pick or to write a hypothesis, you're going to go in this area right here. If you need to pick a hypothesis, just click on 1. And that becomes your hypothesis. If you're writing a hypothesis in a more advanced class, write it, put it in the box. And now we're going to select an experiment to run. Notice we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 pulleys. I'll select the first one, press play. We're going to see a brief video of how the pulleys are set up. So the string goes around that bottom one, over the single pulley on the top, and we hang the mass there. That's the setup. So what's that going to look like when we measure? We do have a close-up of the spring scale here on the left to make it much easier to read. Just click on that spring scale. And so for 100 grams, we've got a certain number of newtons. Now it's 200 grams, 300 grams, and so forth. So as you measure, do your best job to click accurately. Those clicks become your measurements in newtons, and you can see them both in a data table here and on a graph. If you don't like your measurements, you can always press reset and do it again. Or save, we'll move those up into the menu here to show you your different saved graphs that you've finished. There's the one pulley graph. Do your best to learn how force and mass are affected by different numbers of pulleys in this Smart Science lab.